I've been using cyanoacrylate or CA glues in my shop for many years to help with finish repairs. However, I've always struggled when it came to finishes that had color in them. Your traditional CA glues don't like to accept dyes or colors very well. Recently, I learned of a product that has become a real game changer in my shop. Let me introduce you to the GluBoost family of products. So the GluBoost CA glues come in ultra thin and thin, and this is for doing structural type repairs. We have cracks where you need to have the glue wick into the wood. It also comes in a thin and a medium, and these are flexible CA glues that are great for finish repairs where you have dings and scratches. If you need to accelerate the products, they have their own GluBoost accelerator that won't bubble or boil the finish. A lot of times when you use an accelerator and a CA glue, it turns white, has little bubbles in it, and this GluBoost accelerator will not do that. Now, I mentioned adding colors. GluBoost has a series of concentrated dyes that will go into the glues. They have a vintage color collection, which will take care of your tobacco burst and your amber colors. They have a modern color collection, which has your vibrant colors, your pinks, your reds, your yellows. And they also have a black and white collection. So let me show you how to use these to do a repair. So here's an electric guitar that I have here in my shop. I've removed the plate here, and I've come in with a screwdriver and intentionally damaged it pretty good there. This is a pretty nasty ding, and boy, I would hate for that to happen anywhere else on the guitar. Luckily, we've got it hidden, but I'm going to repair it and make it look like new. For this repair, I'm going to be using the black and white color collection. Inside this little canister here, we've got 3 very concentrated black dyes and 1 white. I'm going to set the white aside because obviously I'm not going to use that, and I only need 1 of the black. So with the product comes a non-stick mixing palette. Also, you get this little plastic spatula. They send you 3 or 4 of those to mix with, and the concentrated dye. So let's open the concentrated dye. Let's put just a little bit onto my non-stick mixing palette there. I'm adding a little bit of the fill and finish thin onto the palette and mixing the black dye into it. Now, I will admit that black's a little easier color to get right than having to mix other dyes to get a color. But with all of those dyes that come in the other kits, the vintage and the modern colors, you can very easily match any color that you need to reproduce. All right, we're mixed. Now we're ready to fill the ding. Now, since this is a pretty deep gouge or ding, I'm going to go slow. I'm going to add just a little bit. Get it down inside there. And then I'm going to lightly spritz it with the accelerator. Then I'm going to come in and add a little bit more. Doing it this way, you're sure that it's cured down inside there on these deeper gouges. And once again, hit it with some accelerator. And then just continue adding until I get that spot completely level. Now, this is not thick enough that it won't self-level. It's still kind of self-leveling inside that gouge there. I'm actually overfilling it just a little bit so that I can scrape it back and make it flush later. And once again, I'm going to hit it with the accelerator. Notice how it's not bubbling or foaming or getting white specks in it. So as you can see, this has a very long open time. My palette is still workable. I can still work it, put more on there if I need to. Let me tell you some of the other benefits as this is drying. It's flexible, it's clear, and it's non-creeping. It's sandable, so I can scrape it, sand it. I can apply a finish over the top of it. It's got a long open time, like I've already mentioned. The accelerator won't bubble or give white spots in there. And for most of the repairs in my shop, the black and white collection is sufficient. However, they do have the vintage and the modern color if you need those. The vintage color is great for acoustics where you're doing tobacco burst or your ambers. You can even use it directly on the wood as a pore filler. As I'm working here, I found another little ding in the guitar, so I might as well go ahead and fix that while I'm at it. I still have open time on the glue here. So let's just come in and place it right on the top of it there. And this is just right over the top of the finish, folks. And I'll hit that with some accelerator. And we'll let that cure. So once the glue has cured, I like to come in with a razor blade, and I've just wrapped a couple pieces of cellophane tape around it. And that allows me to come in and scrape the top off of the repair. without damaging the finish around it. And I just scrape this down in there until it's flush. Once I have it scraped flush, I'm going to come in with some wet dry paper. This happens to be 1200 grit and a hard rubber sanding block. Just add a little moisture to it. Come in and level it up even more. And also I'm kind of shining that finish back up to a gloss. And now it's completely level, almost invisible. The only thing I have to do now is buff this area back up to a high gloss. I'll probably just do that on my buffing wheel. You could also use micromesh or other products. While I'm at it, I might as well go ahead and get these other two spots that I repaired. Let's go ahead and scrape them flush. I'll also hit that with some wet dry paper. Completely level. And now we're ready to go hit those on the buffing wheel as well. So here's the guitar after buffing. And my two little dings down here have completely disappeared. I mean, there's no sign of them whatsoever. There's no witness line around them or anything. Up here under the plate where the screwdriver damaged the wood and the finish pretty severely, it's almost impossible to see where we did the repair. So that's how I do a repair using the GluBoost products. Now, I use the black and white collection, and I use the black powder in the CA glue on a black finish. If you want to use just pure white into the CA glue, here's what you need to do. It's been reported that sometimes there's some problems with the dye being absorbed into the CA glue. So add a little bit of the dye to some acetone first, just a little bit to help it dissolve. Then add that mixture to your CA glue. The acetone flashes off, and then you can go ahead and use the product. It's absorbed properly into the CA glue. Doesn't happen all the time, but occasionally it will. So if you use the pure white, make sure you do that first. If you want to use the vintage color collection on your tobacco burst, your amber colors, your vintage instruments, or your modern collection on your vibrant colors, your pinks, your reds, your yellows, your blues, then these are fantastic products. Concentrated dyes, add them directly to the glue. You don't have to do the acetone trick. So as you can tell, this is a real game changer to the industry, especially you folks doing repair and restoration work. Get this in your shop and make life a lot easier. Happy building.